I love watercolor. It's so fresh and it's so spontaneous and it's so exciting. I believe very strongly that we're all born to create, and I think that you can do it if you think you can. It takes desire, it takes determination, and it takes practice. But even more important when it comes to watercolor, it takes learning the basic skills and understanding the fundamental principles. And that's what I want to show you in this video. Let's see how this works in a real quick painting of a flower. Let's start with the purples. Let's make an iris here. I think I'd better get some of this palette cleaned up just a little bit here. Doesn't do much good to have my water nice and clean if my palette doesn't have the colors on. You'll notice that my water is still staying fairly clean here. One is very dirty and the other one is still fairly clean. Now let's start out by mixing the blue and the red, the crimson, to make the violet. And I'm going to add a little extra water to this because I think that what I want to do is start out with just a little bit lighter value here on the first petal. And I'm going to get back into this while this is still very wet, and add a little more paint just to get a little dimension in these top petals. Then I'm going to use the wrong blue and the wrong red because what I want to do is get just a little bit of shadow color down near the base. So I'll use that grayed purple to create that. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom petals, starting a little bit lighter. I'm going to leave a little opening there so I can put in the beard of the iris. And notice I'm taking advantage of the wash and the dry brush both. I want to get a little of the darker color in there. Add some variety. You don't want to mix your colors too much. You want to be able to see the colors that are in the mixture. And then I'll get into that darker mixture near the center. And now I want to pick up a little yellow for the beard. And I'm going to go ahead and let that touch into the purple and let it run a little bit because I think that makes it a lot more interesting when the colors just kind of run. That's the fun of watercolor, is letting the color run. So don't panic when you see it doing that. That's what watercolor does best. Now let's try some greens here. I want those not to be too bright. I'll take my brush and make a stem, that wide line, and then I'll use it to make those spiky leaves. Make a few grasses down in here. Bit of a neutral gray, green wash in the background. And for the most part, that's how you paint in watercolor. And that's the fun of it, is letting the color run, mixing your colors so that you get the brightest colors that you can get from your mixtures, and then letting the paint do what it wants to do, letting it do its own thing. In this little video, what I've tried to do is give you an idea of what the most basic things are that you need to know to paint in watercolor. These are the books that I've published within the last few years. It's important for you to learn the basics, and what you do in order to accomplish this is you read the books, you take classes, and most important, you practice and you believe in yourselves.